practice. You know, it wasn't a good game for us. I think looking at the video, without question, we got beat in the trenches, and it showed. I think getting down early, 28-0, put us in a passing situation, which those guys are tough to pass protect against a lot. So we've got a lot of work to do. I think our guys are working hard. We just got to get better. We've got to do things to help them improve. We've got to work hard at it. We've got to stick to the grind. We can't give in, and I think our players will respond. We've got a great opportunity against a good Maryland team who's had some big wins this season. This Saturday at our home stadium, we get back on the field and showcase that we like to play the game of football. But this is a good opponent, and they've had good wins. They've got 2 graduate transfers from Clemson, Ohio State, defensive end, that do a good job for them. Some good players around them, some good speed on the offense as well. So it'll be once again a tough contest, and we're going to have a good week of practice and come ready to play.
Yeah, Jeff, just we just kind of got handed the depth chart. Can you give any updates on guys like we'll see Lorenzo Neal this week? You think?
No, Lorenzo Neal will be out. Who else?
It looks like Sheffield and Wright obviously are out.
Sheffield's out.
Marshawn Rice.
That's too early to tell. Anthony Watts is out.
How about Sparks is still out too?
That one, too early to tell.
Any chance we would see a Richie Worship?
We're working hard to get him back. I wouldn't count on it, but we're working hard to get him and Voltario back. They've both been able to practice a little bit. So I am hopeful at some point, but no, I would doubt this week.
You talked after the game about how the defense had success when it started to mix things up. You can't play base defense. I imagine we're going to continue to see that from the defense this week.
Well, I think we have to have some creativity. I think you know, they got off to a good start, scored the first 4 times they touched it, and when you watch the video, they honestly didn't run a lot. A little bit of zone read, and they were able to get 5 yards on every punch, a little play action off of it. They were able to get success there, did a couple big throws, and you know, we really didn't knock them back at all. And that till we kind of started to mix in a few things, show some blitzes, back out of it occasionally, bring it, get them a little bit on their heels. I think we made progress, and I do think our guys played hard, which is good to see. But we've got to continue to coach this thing up and you know, take some chances, and our guys just got to play hard.
In radical changes on the offensive line, talk about the 3 new starters: Stickford at left guard, Garvin at center, Eric Miller at right tackle.
Well, you know, we want to try to still have some competition, but definitely try to maybe start to settle on some guys we feel good about. I think Grant Hermans has our most experience up front, him and Matt McCann. Those 2 guys, you know, have to play well for us in order for us to do well. And when you look beyond that, I think Will Bramwell's going to be a good player. We want to create some competition there. Eric Miller play a little bit. Those guys will both play at that position. I think at the left guard position, Mark Stickford, as of right now, will get the nod, depending on how practice goes. But Alex Criddle will play as well. Those guys will rotate. And you saw Jimmy McKinnon at the very end. We'll see how he practices this week at the center position. You know, Victor has been injured all year. He hasn't practiced hardly at all, and I think he gives us his all during the game, but he can't function the way he normally would if he was healthy, and it's hurt us. So we're going to let Sam you know, go out there and play as hard as he can and see how that goes. He'll be backed up by Bramwell and Victor, and it wouldn't surprise me if you see those guys play, but we're going to give Sam a shot to go out there healthy. And I think just Victor's health has hurt him, where we want to, you know, we've got to be careful how we practice him, which we have been, and then we just got to make sure that he's ready to go as well.
Hey Jeff, we talked real quick last week about the tight ends. Bryson Hopkins, he has just 14 catches this year, and Payne Durham has 3. Just talk about what you're trying to do to get those guys the ball. And if it hasn't been frustrating for you, because I'm sure you want to feature Hopkins.
Well, we you know, and we could go back and look at it, and we've called multiple plays that are designed to go to the tight end. You know, we've struggled quite a bit when our tight ends are pressed, or they get some man coverage. We haven't gotten off press very long, and what happens with that is you got a little more time for them to work to get open, and we haven't had the time. and that's happened multiple times. There's been other times as the game went on, our tight end was open on some plays and we didn't get it to him. And I think after our quarterback got hit so much, he got a little gun shy, which can happen. I've been there, it can happen. So it's been a combination of everything, and yes, we need to find a way to, you know, have our tight end be more productive. I didn't think they were great in the running game, and of course we weren't able to give them the ball in the passing game, and we've got to get better at it.
Is Anthony Watts a long-term injury?
It's at least going to be a while. We'll know more after an MRI today.
And how do you project that defensive front to look now without him and that rotation?
Well, I think some of the things that hurt us a little bit, you know, some lack of depth at certain positions now is creeping up on us. I even know at the receiver position, our guys played hard, but the lack of depth, they had to play a lot, and they got tired, and it showed. I think on the defensive line, George Karlaftis has been our most steady performer each and every week. I think Derek Barnes has done some things, and Kai Higgins goes hard as he can. Lawrence, you know, has done okay. So, you know, I see Kai Higgins and Lawrence being our starting defensive tackles, and we've got to rotate some backups in there. We have Jack Sullivan and Branson Dean. We've got to get more production out of them, quite frankly, especially the interior of our defensive line. And we just got to work hard at it, and we also got to be creative to find ways to bring some pressure to alleviate being knocked off the football zone.
Would an option play be playing George, maybe some snaps inside as well?
Well, he's done such a good job on the outside for us. While we looked at it, I don't know if that's the best option. You know, we got some big interior linemen he's going to have to go against, and really that's kind of the issue we have right now. When you look at our defensive tackles, their weight is not what it needs to be. Their mass is not what it needs to be. So because of that, we're getting pushed back. You know, and you know, right now that's what we've got to do. But it's been exposed at times. So yes, we got to be creative with some things and move some things around and slant a little bit more, blitz a little bit more, bring guys up the middle, maybe mix in a few more different fronts. But you know, that gets into coaching, and sometimes you got to have the perfect balance of being creative, but also not doing too much where you lose your fundamentals and your techniques on all the sound things you do. So you know, that's been the dilemma is making sure you have enough, but yet making sure your guys know what to do.
You talked about being maybe more creative on defense early. Is that, in simple terms, do you want to see more aggressiveness out of your defense, maybe early in the game or early downs?
You know, I think as you watch the game, as we got going into it, we showed more looks, we disguised better, we walked guys up and showed all out blitzes, and sometimes brought it, sometimes kicked out of it, and that has to happen. And I think when we did that, we got them on their heels early on. You know, you try to play what you think will work, and they were just marching right down the field, and so that wasn't working. And so that's why we yes, we need to start you know, mixing things up a little bit more, be a little more creative, which I do think happened as the game went on. I liked what we did, so I do like what we did and how our guys played hard in the second half. But yeah, it's got to be a constant, and we've got to you know, feel comfortable with it and roll with it.
Do you anticipate Jalen Graham staying at nickel, and if so, what do you like about him at that position as opposed to playing safety all the time?
Well, I think Jalen is a young player. He's still a true freshman. He's going to make a few mistakes. He's going to learn on the job, but he's a big, athletic body. I think when it's all said and done, that's his best position. He's going to end up being a nickel/outside linebacker that can play in the back end if you need him. But you know, his size and toughness are his strengths, and you know, he made some mistakes and got beat once or twice, but I do think he practices hard, and he'll continue to improve, and we've got to just roll with Jalen, let him learn on the job and do as good as he can.
Jordan Rucker's listed on your depth chart.
I'm sorry, he's out.
Oh, he's out.
He's out.
Okay.
He got hurt first play. He was scheduled to start and didn't make it to the first play.
Is that long-term or week-to-week?
It's gonna be a while. I don't know how long it'll be, but it'll be a little while.
I assume Mackey moves up to that spot? Or
Well, right now, I think Corey Trice was our most consistent guy in the last game, and then Kenneth Major and Dedrick Mackey will rotate in there. So right now, it'll probably be a three-man rotation at the corner, two corner positions.
What do you like about what Trice has given you at cornerback since he made that move late in camp?
I think that he's practiced well. I think, he gives us good size and athleticism, and he is green at the position. There's not a question about it, but I think because of his length, he's able to recover at times. I think he played hard. I think he didn't play scared. There wasn't fear in him, which is what you got to see. At corner, you can't have it. And if you get beat once or twice, you can't have it. I don't like to see guys running out of there, flying out of there so fast. I want to challenge some routes. I want to be able to sit on some things a little bit. I want to be able to read the quarterback. I think he tried to do those things, and that's what we need. We need guys to play aggressive and play with confidence, and I think he did a good job of that.
Looking at the offensive line and the struggles they've had, are they just struggling with just one-on-one blocks, or are teams slanting and twisting and doing a lot of different things maybe to confuse them? And they are inexperienced at that. Most of them are inexperienced at that position. But where are you having the most troubles on the offensive line?
I like our group. They're working hard. They're trying to get better. We're not where we need to be, and that's a fact. I think that early in the game, Matt McCann got off late on the cadence, and it's coming right around him. And because of the noise and the silent count and ability of that got us off to a bad start. And then when we got down 28-0, and you have to truly pass protect and drop back more than you like to, which we went into the game not wanting to do that because we knew these guys were good up front. We got beat. And you know what? Some guys do a good job, but it just seems on every play there's one guy that's having a hard time, and that's the thing that's getting exposed. And we just got to continue to work at it. I think they're working hard, and we've got to figure out ways to put them in better positions to succeed. We thought we had a decent plan going in the game of not dropping back and pass protecting the whole game and mixing in a lot of screens and moving the pocket and run and play action. But when you're down that fast, the play action kind of goes out the window to a certain degree. We still had a couple of them, but it was a long day, and it was not a good day up front.
Maryland's one of the top return teams in the nation in kickoff and punt return. What about what they've done kind of concerns you going into this game?
Well, they've got good speed, and they've got good speed at the skill positions. I think when you look at us and covering punts last week, I think our guy thought the guy fair caught it the first time. We stopped, and then we allowed him out another time. And then for us, we've got to adjust some things, and we did. I think we went with the rugby punt a couple times. We're going to have to continue to mix things up, not just kick it to their best guy. We think Brooks has a bright future, but the consistency has been an issue. We knew it would be. It was in fall camp. If he doesn't hit it well, it's going to hurt us. So we've got to continue to provide competition there and get better at it. But we got to find a way to get an edge, and that's just being sound in your coverage units and trying to find a way when we return it to gain an edge. And without Rondell back there, that's been a little tougher to do.
Have some of your circumstances this season in terms of the guys you don't have they changed your view or how you apply the new 4-game redshirt rule?
Well, we're playing a lot of young guys, so there are some that aren't ready that are getting closer, and yes, they're gonna probably be more guys play as we get going through the season. We just don't want to put them in for a few plays. We want to make sure if someone goes down or that position is really, really struggling, they'll go in. Otherwise, we want to continue to get them ready, and as we get towards the middle of the season, or even now if we need them, they'll play, because you can play and then maybe sit out a little bit, a game or two if you have to still keep that red shirt. But if guys are going to play, we're going to play them. And if we need them, we're going to need them. Or we're going to play them. There's no question about that. But we want to be smart with the guys that still need some development and still You gotta be a little careful throwing out guys there before they're ready, because you can lose confidence. I know that, even King, I don't want him to lose confidence. He's a really good runner, and we haven't been doing a great job of creating holes and openings for him at times, so I don't want him to lose confidence. And I think you'll probably see, Hewitt in the mix as well as we get going, because we need more guys at that position.
It looked like Jalen Alexander did some positive things for you. Did he kind of help himself a little bit at Penn State?
Yes, Jalen did help himself. I think that we've been looking for him to show up and be a playmaker for us. This was the first game he really got to play a lot. His overall knowledge and instincts, we just wanted to improve a little bit. And I think in the game, he allowed himself to relax and go play, and he did. He did a good job. So it was good to see Jalen step up and do some good things. We're going to need him to continue to improve and play well.
Coach, what about, how does Maryland change it with the potential that the backup quarterback's going to play? Obviously, he's an RPO guy, but tell us how that changes your prep.
Well, that's kind of what they like to do, and they're going to continue to run the run pass and have an athletic quarterback. And against Minnesota, gave us a lot of problems, so we're going to have to work hard at defending it, and that means being in position. That means that you can't just everyone suck up for the run every single time they do it and leave huge openings in the secondary. So we've got to be smart in our design, our approach, and also how we attack and fit what they're doing. But that's what they're trying to get you to do, to suck up and to create big lanes to throw the football, which is much easier in the run-pass game than drop it back. And that's kind of how they beat Syracuse very badly. They crushed them in the run-pass game and created huge openings, and they got big plays. So Minnesota game, that's where we got gash as well. So yes, we're going to work hard at defending that, and that's kind of what their strength is. And having speed at the skill positions, getting the ball in their hand in space, we've got to do a good job.
Coach, back here, what stands out to you most about this Maryland team? Obviously, they put up a lot of points last week against Rutgers. What have you seen on film that stands out to you?
Well, I think they definitely are playing with more confidence. I think they're sound in what they're doing. I think on defense, they've got a sound scheme that they feel good about, and they challenge routes and they mix things up. Offensively, they try to spread you out and let their skill go to work and create plays. But I think when you look at the Syracuse game, was a statement game they made, and they bounced back last week and had a big win against Rutgers, where they dominated the game. So this team knows how to play football. They know how to coach, and they're coming in with some confidence. So we've got to step up to the challenge.
As far as your rushing attack is concerned, obviously you got put in a situation, like you mentioned, where you're going to have to throw the football more, being down 28 points. But where do you feel like you're at with King and Xander, and where do you want to be at this week with the rushing game?
Where I want to be, I want to be a lot better than what we are. Right now, we feel good about King's running ability. Xander got a little bit injured in the last game. It's been up and down a little bit. We've got to create some holes. We've got to create some movement. We've got to move some people up front. 2 games ago, we had a couple of different designs because we kind of knew the front we were going to see, and it worked. And it helped us create some yards. This past game, it mixed things up better, and it was tougher to get that done. And then when we got down, it was tougher to run the ball. But in one-on-one matchups, we were not productive, and we did not move people back. And we had perfect looks, in our opinion. We did not move people back. We did not get positive yards, so that was very frustrating. So we've got to work harder at it, and we've got to, be dedicated to getting it done, and we've got to work hard to improve it. And that's myself, our coaches, our players, and we can't give in. So it's going to be a work in progress, but we've got to work hard at it.
Coach, George Karlaftis continues to be a bright spot, it seems, from a fan standpoint anyway. What is he doing well? Why is he having this type of success early?
You are correct. In our opinion, George has been outstanding. And he has been a standout player on the defensive side of the ball. He's played a lot of snaps. He goes extremely hard. He works hard. He gives great effort. He studies it. He practices hard. You can coach him, and he'll listen and adjust. And really, he's just a relentless player on the defense side of the ball that cares about winning. And if we could have 11 Georges, we'd be sitting pretty good. But I do think that it rubs off on the others to a certain degree. I think he's a good leader by example. But he has been outstanding for us, and I'm very proud of the production that he's had, and I think he has a tremendous future.
And the last for me, with it being homecoming and expecting another great crowd at Ross 8, how much of a difference can they make Saturday, you think?
Well, our crowd's been outstanding. We appreciate all the support we've given. They've given us everything they can, and they've done a tremendous job. We got to do our part, and I think our players understand that when we come home and play in front of our home crowd, we got to take some pride in it. It's got to mean something to us. We got to be willing to put in the work in order to try to go out there and compete and get better. And you know what? We know it's not going to be easy, and we're going to have to fight through it, but that's what has to happen. So that's what I want to see. I want to see some fight in our guys. I want to see our guys play hard, and I want to see some guys that want to win when they take the field for all the support that they've given us.
Where does Cam Allen fit into the secondary? He got on the field against Penn State early, but then the targeting call removed him. But where does he fit in?
Now, you know what? Cam was scheduled to play quite a bit. He's our backup nickel, and he's basically one of our three safeties at the two positions. So he was going to rotate in there, and he was in there, at the end of the game, or at least as they got going. So he's going to play for us. I think he's got instincts. He has some similar traits to George as far as he works hard. He practices hard. He wants to do great things. He competes. Got a little bit farther ways to go, and he's got to get stronger and be able to read things because he's coming in. You look at Cam and you look at Jalen Graham. They're both played quarterback last year, so these guys haven't played a lot of defense. So it's going to take a little bit of an adjustment, but I think I would put my money in that those two guys in the long run are going to be very productive, outstanding players for us. It's just going to take a little time, but I love the way he competes, and you can coach him, and he wants to win as well. I think those are two really good young leaders that will continue to improve because of their work ethic.
What's the benefit of having former quarterbacks in your secondary?
Well, I would hope it is a benefit. You've been there, you've done it. You know what route structures are, what they're trying to accomplish. You can read the quarterback's eyes. I would hope that would be a huge plus. But still, you got to take it on the field and work at it and use that and understand that knowledge should be a bonus.
On the updated depth chart we got, that quarterback at Plummer or O'Connell or is listed there. Is that true, or is
That is correct.
Is there Jack have an issue?
You know what? No, Jack competed extremely hard, and he gave us great effort, and he did some good things. Now, when you get hit that many times, you're going to struggle a little towards the end, and we took a lot of sacks. So we just want to make sure there's competition in every position. So I think Aiden O'Connell's a guy that could play, or he may not play, depending on how this week goes. But every position, we want all of our guys to know that we're going to need production. And I understand the circumstances, and I am proud of the effort Jack has given us, and I think he's done some good things. But I do want to make sure that even at that position, we know there's competition.
Is that it? Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank